West Indies top 4 Test cricket moments of the past decade 2010 to 2019. Stay tuned. Number 4. That series, West Indies versus England 2015, where West Indies drew 1-all. What a wonderful series that was. In the first test match at Antigua, England winning the toss and choosing to bat first on such a flat surface. And what impressed me the most was the fitness of the West Indies seamers. England made 399 batting 110 overs, but throughout the whole time England were batting, the fast bowlers were running in, bowling at good speeds, good clip. Jerome Taylor bowling 20 overs, Kemar Roach 29 overs, Jason Ola 25 overs, and our seam attack just looked really good. Of course, when West Indies started batting, we were in deep trouble. 99 for 4 in response to 399. Brathwaite, Devon Smith, Marlon Samuels and Darren Bravo all dismissed. But then of course, perhaps the greatest West Indian test player, Shivnarine Chanderpaul and Jermaine Blackwood, who was young to test cricket at the time, they came to the rescue. Chanderpaul, a very dodgy and defensive, just prodding away 46 of 150 deliveries. And Jermaine Blackwood, a little more productive, 112 not out from 220. They helped to rescue West Indies, to help us to fight back. Early on day 3, posting 295 runs, but more importantly, batting 113 overs, almost taking losing out of the game. So of course, England went into ODI mode, batting only 2.5 sessions and scoring 300 plus runs. West Indies bowling looking severely tired, and now England set West Indies 438 runs to win in 4 sessions. A tired West Indies to bat 4 sessions to save the test match, and boy, did West Indies come to the party. West Indies 350 for 7, chasing 438. Batting 129 overs, Jason Holland unbeaten 100. The skipper Dennis Ramdin 57. Darren Bravo 32, Jermaine Blackwood 31, Marlon Samuels in the 20s as well. All being resilient just to ensure that West Indies had saved the test match. A wonderful display from West Indies in the first test match. The second test match went to St. George's, Grenada on a green top surface, and of course England won the toss and decided to bowl. It was also overcast conditions. And my gosh, Anderson running through Craig Brathwaite right at the start. West Indies though having the resilience to have a solid defense in overcast conditions and posting 299 from 129 overs. The icon himself scoring an unbeaten century. Imagine facing the likes of James Anderson, Stuart Broad and Chris Jordan on a green top in overcast conditions. Wonderful resilient display from the Windies to make 299. However, on day 2 and day 3, the sun came out and the pitch just flattened a bit. England making 464, Joe Root 182. Then of course, West Indies weren't up to it in the second innings, making 307. And then James Anderson of course picking up 4 for 43. And then England just needed 143 runs to win. But West Indies still had a chance to save this test match as it was on day 5. Only 51 overs to go in the day. But Gary balanced his counter-attacking innings with Alistair Cook just nudging closer to the target, ensure that England got to their total within 42 overs, and England won that game by 9 wickets. So of course, West Indies had to win the second test match to level the series. West Indies going to Kensington Oval. A nice surface for fast bowlers, but of course England with the likes of Andy Broad, Chris Jordan, you'll fancy them to win this series. But then of course England, they were rattled and bowled out on day 1 for 257. Jerome Taylor, who had missed the second test, came back with a brilliant 3 for 36. But then in response, West Indies had an awful start, 189 all out. Only Jermaine Blackwood, who made 85 of 88, really looked in good nick. And Jimmy Anderson, 6 for 42, just ran through the West Indies batting lineup. So England, with a 68 runs lead, were in for a surprise. We don't know what Dennis Ramsey and the team management said to the players, but West Indies came out and shut out England for 123. Again, the man Jerome Taylor and of course the local boy Jason Holder, 3 for 15. They ensured that England would be bowled out cheaply in their second innings. So West Indies needed 192 runs to win, but bearing in mind that they only made 180 odd in the first innings, so that 192 seems a lot, right? But of course, Darren Bravo with those classic cover drives resembling that of Brian Charles Lara, scored a brilliant 82. Only got dismissed the second to last over to try to finish the game with a boundary, but then Jermaine Blackwood hitting Moeen Ali for a 6. West Indies 194 for 5, ensuring that West Indies drew that series 1-0 in 2015. Many pundits have written off the West Indies and said it was a straightforward series for England, Alistair Cook and his team. But of course, West Indies showed that we could fight in Test cricket in 2015. So that was really nice to see as a West Indian fan. And number 3, West Indies dominating Bangladesh in 2018 in the Caribbean. What a wonderful sight that was again. Again, the first test match was played in Antigua, and my gosh, Bangladesh were in for a surprise. Tammy Iqbal, Shakib Al Hasan, Mushfiq Rahim, all couldn't do anything. Bangladesh rooted for 43 all out. Kemar Roach picking up 5 for 8. What a brilliant display of bowling by Kemar Roach. Still his career best figures to this day. And then it was so good to see West Indies' response in their first innings. The top 4 all made runs. Craig Brathwaite a century, Devon Smith 58, Kyron Powell 48, Shea Hope 67, as the top order piled on the runs and West Indies scored 406. 406? Magnificent stuff. In the second innings, West Indies bowling again was unsung, just running through Bangladesh batting lineup, and West Indies won by an innings and 219 runs. West Indies winning by an innings. Unbelievable stuff. The second test going to Sabina Park, Jamaica. This time West Indies batting first, again posting 350 plus. Craig Brathwaite century and Shimron Hetmeyer, his flair, his attractiveness. Wonderful stuff to earn him a nice solid 86 as West Indies posted 354. And then West Indies again, the bowling just continued. Skipper Jason Holder just running through the Tigers again, 149 all out. But at some stage, Shakib had to come to the party. Shakib Al Hasan 6 for 33, roughing up West Indies in the second innings, 129 all out. So now Bangladesh were in with a shot of trying to win the game. But of course, skipper Jason Holder shut down any thought of Bangladesh trying to chase 350 plus in 2 days with a 6 for 59 to ensure that West Indies won by 166 runs. We had a good home summer where we drew 1-1 with Sri Lanka before the Tigers came, and then we beated Bangladesh 2-0 convincingly. And in both series, West Indies had some scores above 400 to suggest that our batting was going in a positive direction. Just to drift back a bit, number 2 was West Indies beating New Zealand 2-0. What a sensational series that was. In the first test in Antigua again, West Indies won the toss and decided to bowl. On a flat surface, a nice batting surface, New Zealand were dismissed for 351, and Sunil Narine, the mystery spinner who in the test series picked up 5 for 132 when nothing was happening on the surface. Narine's magic bowled out New Zealand for 351. You might say 351 is a lot, but on a batting surface, surely that wasn't going to be enough. And of course, West Indies responded in the most positive way. Chris Gayle and Kieran Powell, 254 opening stand, a record opening stand in the Caribbean. As we said, it was a batting friendly surface. West Indies scoring 522, Chris Gayle 150, Kieran Powell 134, as West Indies batted 163 overs. New Zealand had to take the new ball 3 times. And of course, in the second innings now, New Zealand, they were just trying to bat time because a victory was pretty much out of the way. So New Zealand, they batted 100 overs, scoring 272. Guptill trying to stand tall. So West Indies, after finally dismissing New Zealand, who had 2 sessions to score 102 runs. And with the possibility of rain, Chris Gayle, my gosh, Chris Gayle in the second innings made light work of the target. 19.3 overs, West Indies getting to the target. Gayle 64 of 49. Playing some pull and hook shots that you'll see in ODI cricket. It was just fascinating to see West Indies romp into victory in the first test. In the second test that went to Sabina Park, New Zealand won the toss and decided to bat first. And Guptill again standing tall, 71, as New Zealand made 260. Kemar Roach tried his best, picking up 4 for 70, a hard-working 4 for Kemar Roach. But then, of course, Trent Boult, playing in his second series, rattled West Indies. But Marlon Samuels stood tall to ensure that we had a respectable first innings score, scoring 123 runs, hitting 4 back-to-back sixes of Tim Southee. But West Indies were behind in the game. And of course, we had to call our magician, Sunil Narine, 3 for 15, and Narsingh Deonarine, the other Narine, the spinners ensuring that New Zealand would be dismissed cheaply. New Zealand all out 154, Guptill again top scoring 42. What a series Guptill was having. But then West Indies needed 206 to win. Bearing in mind that we got bowled out for 209 in the first innings. 200 plus at Sabina Park, difficult to chase. But of course, Marlon Samuels again, 52. And Shivnarine Shandapal, the legend, 43 not out, ensured that West Indies won by 5 wickets. And we took the series 2-0. West Indies, beating a higher ranking test team, had moved to 6th place in the ICC test rankings. In a long while, we haven't been at 6th. And of course, at number 1 has to be West Indies beating England yet again, 2-1 in 2019. Yet again, because the opposition is England. The first test being in Bridgetown, Barbados. Jason Holder won the toss and decided to bat first, and England were in for a bit of a surprise because West Indies had their first 50-run opening stand in Test cricket in 11 innings. John Campbell, the debutant, and Craig Brathwaite laid the foundation as West Indies made 289. Shimron Hetmeyer 81 and Shai Hope 57. They were able to keep a pretty good James Anderson 5 for 46 at bay as West Indies posted 289, but England in for a super shocker when they went to bat. They were skittled out for 77 in one session. Just after lunch, they were just skittled out. Keaton Jennings, 17 runs for Keaton Jennings, but Kemar Roach 5 for 17, Jason Holder 2 for 15, Alzari 2 for 20. They were just too fantastic for England. Then of course in West Indies' second innings, England fought back as West Indies were 61 for 5. But then skipper Jason Holder and wicketkeeper batsman Shane Dowrich's very close friend, they stood together and made a 295-run partnership to propel West Indies to 415 for 6. Both of them unbeaten as Jason Holder, after getting to his double century, said, you know what, it's time to go and have a bowl. And my gosh, Ruston Chase turned up to the party, picking up 8 for 60, skittling England out for 246. As West Indies beat England by 381 runs. 381 runs, unbelievable stuff. In the second test match, West Indies this time winning the toss and deciding to bowl first because there was some green top on the surface And my gosh, England, their batting was all at sea. 187 all out. Again, the seamers, Kemar Roach, Gabriel and Joseph. They were just dismantling the English batsmen. Now, when West Indies went to bat, of course, the surface, having green top on it was difficult to bat on. And my gosh, the Darren Bravo made the region proud. The Darren Bravo standing there and soldiering out some body blows, deliveries sailing at his neck, beautiful in-swinging Yorkers, ball pitching and turning. Darren Bravo made the slowest 50 of 216 deliveries to ensure West Indies would make 306 and also bat a very long time to keep the English in the field for a very long period of time. So when the English went into bat, of course with weary legs, they were skittled out for 132. The seamers again, Kemar Roach and Jason Holder doing the job. West Indies needing 17 runs for a famous series victory. And then of course, John Campbell with that 6 over mid-wicket of James Anderson, ensuring that West Indies won the game by 10 wickets and won the series 2-0 with one test match to go. And even though West Indies lost the third test match without their skipper Jason Holder, England winning by 232 runs. Before the start of the series, so many pundits, the Nasir Hussain, the Mark Butcher, they'd say that this was a mismatch, this England team against this West Indies team, and West Indies certainly proved them otherwise. And so of course that had to be the #1 moment of the decade.